Hello and welcome to Disneyland. I'm Professor Toybox. I've got Tinkerbell with me, and today I'm starting a new series based on the most frequent viewer request that I get, and that is How to Build Disneyland. This series will air on Saturdays, with one new episode airing each week, and as we go along in this series, I'll show you how I constructed every part of my park, including the custom-built rides and the various games and attractions. Before I begin, I want to give a shout out to Diz Explorer 03 because my Disneyland toy box is based heavily on the Disneyland project videos that he posted on his channel. When I first started building this toy box, I wanted to recreate what I saw in his videos, but as my build progressed, I took some creative liberties and made some changes, so it isn't exactly like his toy box, but it's close enough that I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. So thanks Diz Explorer 03 for the inspiration your videos provided. I first unveiled my Disneyland toy box over a year ago, and that video featured a toy box that was a work in progress, but since then I've continued to refine it and I've made a lot of improvements. So today I want to take you on a quick tour of the new and improved Main Street USA, and then I'll show you how to start building this toy box. So the tour begins here at the entrance to the park. I've got the ticket booths, and of course the train station, and if you saw my original Disneyland video, you've seen all of this before. But one of the design challenges that I had with this part of the toy box is that there's not much really to do here. In the real Main Street USA, in the real Disneyland, you can go shopping, you can grab a bite to eat in one of the restaurants, you can tour the museum or the theater, or you can just sit down on a park bench while you study the park map and plan out your day. But there are no rides, and there aren't really any attractions, so I had to come up with some things to do to make this part of the park interesting. And if we run up to the churro cart there, her face kind of explodes. She's got her mouth stuffed full of churro. So that's just a goofy little thing that I added. Now, most Disneyland aficionados know that there are camouflaged images of Mickey Mouse hidden throughout the park. So one thing you can do in my Main Street USA toy box is to hunt for hidden Mickeys. There are 5 Mickey Mouse townspeople hidden throughout this toy box in random locations, and if you can find all 5 and throw them into this townsperson door, you'll receive a random pack or tool that you can take with you as you explore Disneyland. So we'll keep our eye open here as we tour the park for any hidden Mickeys. Oh, and there's an ice cream cone. So I've got some collectibles hidden throughout the park too. And if you collect all of those, you'll also get a toy that you can take with you through the park as you go along. And I'll give you a little bit of a bird's eye view here while I look around for the hidden Mickeys. Sometimes they're up on top of these little balconies. There are none on the roofs. I tried to make sure that even a character that couldn't fly could reach them all. Oh, there's one over there. So they're out in plain sight, but you have to look around for them to find them. Kind of like the actual hidden Mickeys at Disneyland. They're hidden in plain sight. I love the way she skips when she runs. Well, there's one. And we're approaching the hub. Oh, there's another ice cream cone over here. Of course, the hub is where you connect to all of the lands. So through the castle is Fantasyland, and over here is the entrance to Adventureland. The entrance to Frontierland is over there, and the entrance to Tomorrowland is over there. And I could have built an abbreviated version of Disneyland that's smaller and more compact like I did for my Halloween Takeover toy box, but I wanted to recreate the park as closely as possible, And unfortunately, there's no way to fit all of Disneyland into one toy box, so I divided mine up into separate toy boxes. And so if you head through here, you'll go to the Adventureland toy box, and the same thing with the Fantasy or the Frontierland entrance over there. You'll see that's just kind of a facade. There's actually nothing behind there. Oop, I just spotted another Mickey hiding back over here. So anyway, dividing the Disneyland up into multiple toy boxes allowed me to recreate as much of it as possible and as much detail as possible. And so I think that's a good thing, at least from my mind. Again, I could have built a more compact version, and I might do that someday, but I kind of like this one. Nice shot. The downside to that is, of course, you have to wait due to the long load time when traveling between toy boxes. Did I just spot another ice cream cone? Yes, I did. But on the positive side, I can recreate almost every area of the park. And one of the things that I changed here was I reconfigured the castle. I'm trying to build the Sleeping Beauty castle, but I have the Cinderella castle pieces to work with in the toy box, and that's all I have. So I changed it around a little bit to make it look more like an iconic Disney castle, but it still kind of looks similar to the Sleeping Beauty castle. I also added some rope climbs over there and on the opposite side so that you can climb up on top of this thing and explore it, which is something you couldn't do in the original version of this. Oh, there's another Mickey. Oh, it won't let me fly fast. So that's all right. You'll get an aerial view of Main Street, USA here as I take him back to the townsperson door. I tried to put the townsperson door about halfway along the length of this toy box, so it's not too long a ways to go from either end of the toy box. Ideally, I'd probably put more townspeople doors in here, but I'm kind of running really low on memory. I'm pushing this toy box to its limit, so I don't really have room to do that, but some of you on other platforms could do that if you want. Over here is the only ride in this toy box, and that is the Astro Orbiter ride, which is, of course, right in the front of the entrance to Tomorrowland. So we can actually hop up here and ride one of these when they come down low enough to hop on. Oh, I see another Mickey over there in that corner. I'll have to pick him up, but I want to hop in one of these first. There we go. It's nothing too exciting. If you remember my earlier video, I had some problems with the path here as it wound around this tower, and at one point when I'd unload the toy box and reload it, these spaceships were flying through the middle of the tower, and I've since fixed that problem by tweaking the path a little bit. So when we get around to building this, I'll show you what I did. But let's hop out over here next to the hidden Mickey. He's tucked back over here in the corner. So again, they're in plain sight, but you gotta look for them. Makes it kind of a fun little game. Nice shot. All right, I think there's one more to go. Ah, here he is. He's hiding over by the partner statue. Anyway, I love how this toy box turned out. I think it's really cool. Looks good anyway. So now we found all 5 Mickeys, and we've been given a toy that we can pick up and take with us. And we've got the Crow Wing pack. So this would be really good for a character that can't fly. But of course, Tinkerbell can, so... She's actually got some interesting looking wings there. Over here at the entrance to Adventureland, I've got the Tiki Room. This is another attraction that we have here. And there are some interior toys that I brought out for the Tiki faces and the birds. So those are kind of fun. Jose and Pierre. And then one last thing I'll show you is I've got a button over here that I added. And this button will change the sky to a nighttime sky, and 20 seconds later it'll also kick off the randomly generated fireworks show. So if you want to explore the park at night, this button lets you do that. And I'm using satellite receivers in each of the toy boxes, so once you press this button to change to night, you'll have a night sky in each of the other toy boxes too. So we'll press that, and then we got 20 seconds to figure out where we want to watch the fireworks show from. And so I think maybe we'll watch it from over here this time. Got a good view of the castle. And as I said, this is randomly generated, so it's different every time you play it. But there's 30 fireworks that go off, and then it plays a grand finale at the end. I wanted to add a parade for Main Street USA here too, but as I mentioned, I'm low on memory. I was able to do 3 townsperson and 1 float, which wasn't much of a parade, so I just decided to leave that out. But if you've got the memory on your machine, I encourage you to do that. It's kind of fun activity. And maybe at some point I'll show you how to actually build the parade so that you can build it on your own. Grand finale! Okay, and just so you know, I've also placed a button over here that's kind of hidden out of the way. And so if you want the daytime sky back, you can just push that button and it switches back to daytime. So that's my finished toy box for Main Street USA. I know many of you have been eagerly waiting to build Disneyland, so before I sign off today, let's actually build something. Okay, here we are in a brand new toy box, and all I've done so far is put down my Danville Sky Power Disc from the Phineas and Ferb toy box pack to set the sky. I just kind of like that sky. It's nice and blue with some fluffy white clouds. Perfect for a day at Disneyland. And I dropped a boombox to set the music to silence so that you can hear my voice. And incidentally, since I'm talking about the boombox, what I would recommend for the Main Street USA music is if you come under Properties, go under Music, up underneath the Whimsical category is the Mickey Mouse theme. And this is what I recommend for Main Street USA. I've actually heard that tune playing when I've gone to Disneyland and entered the park, so that's perfect. All right, so now that we have the sky in here, and by the way, if you don't have that power disc, I think the Monsters University sky might work, or even the default sky would probably be all right. But for the main terrain, for that theme, I'm going to set the theme to be the Toy Box Terrain, and I'll set that to be the theme. It's a nice cobblestone theme that I think looks pretty good. And it kind of looks like the cobblestones that are on the ground as you're going through Disneyland, so I like that. And for the orientation of this, I'm going to set it up so that we are heading this way when we enter Main Street, USA. And so I'm going to come down and pick up the launching pad, the starting pad, and I'm going to back that up here a little ways. I'll just drop it there for right now. And I'm going to drop another one of these terrain blocks down. So I think I have to come out of spark mode to do that. And we don't really need the thick one. I think this one, well, let's just stay consistent. We'll drop down the thick one here and line it up like that. And we're going to put down a bunch of these, but 2 is all we need for today. And then I'm going to come over here, and again, we're going to be building in that direction. So I'm going to put down a few blocks just for spacers. Make sure I put the spacing in here correctly on everything. And I'm going to put down one of these, and one of these, and one of those. And I'm measuring out 10 blocks, basically. That's where I want to begin the build. And so the first turnstile will go here. And under Building Sets Group 3 is where you find the Disneyland buildings. And if we scroll to the right, we find the Main Street turnstile, and then there's also an exit turnstile. And I'm going to put the first one right here like this, with the little green decorations on the roof facing out. The next one over, I'm going to put out a half a block, because these actually go at an angle, about a 30-degree angle or so, but I can't really replicate that because I can't turn these. So we're going to do that. And then the next one will come out like that. And then we're going to put in 2 of these exit ones, which will make it easy for the player to enter the park. And another turnstile. And then again a half a block back. And again a half a block back. So there's the entrance to the park. And then, let's see, we'll come down to the plants drawer next, I think. And we're going to pick up this Fantasy Terrain 4. And I'm on the corner of this particular turnstile here. And I'm going to back this out. Let's see, that'd be 1, 2, 3. I'm going to drop one there. And then I'll rotate it. Put one down on the other end at the same relative spot. And I think we can go ahead and get rid of these spacers now. And then we'll put down another one on the inside of this spacer here, and I'll rotate it. And another one on the other side, just for kind of a little barrier here. And then I'm going to pick up this Fantasy Terrain Corner 2, and I'm going to set this one just like that. And now this one over here, I'm going to set like this. And the reason for that will be clear once I style these, but I don't want to do that yet because that's going to change the bounding box here and make it difficult to put in the next pieces. Alright, so then we'll come back up to Building Sets Group 3, and I'm just pulling up my screenshots here to make sure I get this right. Okay, so we're going to come back over here to the left, and I'm looking for this little piece right here. Main Street Station Block number 4. And I'm going to put this right here on the back edge of this. And it's the same on either side, so it doesn't really matter which way you use that. This one we'll put down on this end. And then for the roof on this, I'm going to use this green roof right here. And we'll put one on either side. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to come out of the editor over here. And for the grass in front of the train station, I'm going to use Rapunzel's Kingdom. I'm going to put that power disc down now. And I do not want to switch my entire world to that theme. This is about the best theme that I have found to use. It's the most beautiful theme that you can use for this. And I'm going to line this up with that block and with the turnstile, the exit turnstile that's out there. And I'm going to drop down. Well, before I do that, let's go ahead and style it. So we'll come in here, and the style is, let's see, where did it put it? Right there, Rapunzel's Kingdom. I'm going to set that to be my theme. And if you don't have that power disc, I highly recommend getting this one. It's one of the 1.0 power discs, and you can find it online pretty cheap on eBay or Amazon because it's not a rare disc, and I highly recommend it. It's really beautiful. But if you don't happen to have that one, there really isn't another good alternative. The Enchanted Briar Ridge Forest could work. Tink's Treasures could work. You could use, let's see, you could use the Through the Looking Glass Terrain, but it's just not going to look the same. This looks good because I like the color of the grass. I like the flowers that are on the side. And if you're at Disneyland, you remember that there's a lot of flowers everywhere. And so this just looks beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this so that we got a different decoration facing the front there. I think that'll look good. And then we're going to put down, let's see, make sure I get my screenshot. And actually, let's put these out like this. We're going to put 4 of them along here. And I should probably rotate that one again, just so it's not so repetitive. That's pretty good. Whoops, nope, that's the same one that's there. Well, that'll work. At least it's alternating, so that's good. Okay. And we're setting up now the hill, but it's also going to be the base of the train station. And so come up to the blocks drawer next, and I'm going to pick up this long block, and I'm going to put one of these right on the end here. And we're going to go ahead and style this. And for this block, I'm going to use the dungeon theme. I'll set that to be the theme. And then we're going to put in the little archways here. And so for that, I'm going to drop down a block over here and another one over here. And we're going to put one off the corner of that and off the corner of that. And the piece that I want to put on here is this vaulted platform. And that just sits almost perfectly. I put those 2 bases over a little too far. So we'll slide that over and we'll slide the other one over. And then we're going to do the same thing on this other side. We'll put one of these over here. Like that. And then another vaulted platform. All right, so now we have the tunnels that go underneath the railroad tracks. And we'll come back to the terrain drawer, and we're going to continue building. And I'm going to grab one of these long, tiny, thin blocks, and we're going to put it right here off the end of that. And another one on this side, like that. And then I'm going to leave this about a block corner right there, because I'm going to put a little diagonal in here. And we'll scroll over and grab that. Like this. And like this. And then back up to the blocks drawer, and we'll put the stairs in leading up to the train station. And I'm going to put these right about, actually, like that. And should be 4 across. Yep, just like that. And actually, while we're right here, we're going to need another set of stairs there, and another set of stairs over here. And that'll save a little bit of time. Then we'll come back over to the left and put in a few more blocks. And we'll put this one down right like this. And this is just going to plug a gap, because I'm actually going to put a longer piece in there, floor piece. And then we'll put 2 blocks over here on either side. Like that. Okay. And so there's the foundation for the train, for the train station. And on the next level up, let's go back down to the terrain drawer, and I'm going to grab again this long, tiny, thin block, and we're going to put one under here. We're going to put another one over there, and I'll flip it around so that it's a little bit different on this side. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put the hill on the front of this. So I'm going to come over to the left, and we're going to put down one of these small corner hills on this side, and a small corner hill on that side. And eventually, this tiny slope is going to go in here as well. But one of the things I want to do, and you'll remember this if you've been to Disneyland or seen pictures, is that there's a decoration here of arrangement of flowers, for in the shape of Mickey's head. And we don't have anything like that in Disney Infinity. However, we do have a topiary that's in the shape of Mickey's head. And so I'd like to have that here. But the problem is when I put that slope in, it's going to be in the way. And so what we're going to do is put this down with a replayer. And so I'm going to come down to the Creativitoys drawer, and we'll go left. I think that'll be the quickest way to get there. And I'm looking for the replayer. There it is. All right, we'll come down here and drop that. And I'll exit out of the editor. And we'll come down and step on it to open the menu in the lower right. And I'll press B on my Wii U to start recording and step off. And we'll come back into the editor and go up to the plants drawer. And sometimes this trick works and sometimes it doesn't. And in this case it does. So I'm going to put this down right here at center with, of course, Mickey's head shape facing this way. And then we'll exit, come back over to the replayer to open that menu again, and I'll stop recording and I'll clear. And now we'll come back in the editor and put those slopes in. And sometimes this works, like in this case it should, has in the past, but other times if the bounding boxes collide, the replayer won't actually let you put that shape back. But when I've done this before, it does work in this case. So we can come step back on the replayer and do Y on my Wii U to play back. And there we go. So that's how I get that Mickey shape in there. And it's actually right there embedded in the terrain. So that's a good thing. Okay, so now we're going to work on the next level of blocks here. And before we do that, one thing I just saw is I forgot to put in the floor surfaces over here, so let's do that. And I need this because the blocks that I put on top of this will have gaps if I don't put this in, and also it helps cover up a little of the ugliness of those blocks there. Alright, so there we go. So now we're going to put in some additional blocks that I'm going to come back over here. And we're just kind of filling in the surface up here. And so we're going to place one of these up under here and another one under there. Is that the right way to go? No, actually, I think I'd rather do it this way. So we'll put these over here, and I want to spin this around so it's not as repetitive. So the side of that is not so repetitive. So that looks good. And then we'll come over and pick up this one. And this is the foundation for the train tracks. No, I apologize. I had that right the first time. Looking at my screenshot and I'm all turned around. Sorry about that. Okay, this one goes over here. That looks correct. Okay, and then we'll flip this around like that. And we'll do the same thing over here, like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put another couple of these over here. And actually, nope, that goes like this. Because what I want to put up here under the basic blocks is another one of these guys. So I'll pick that up and put it down. And we'll put one of these there and one of these over here. And that way we have the same brick texture underneath there. So that's why I did that. Alright, so that looks good. I like that. Okay. And then underneath the decorations drawer, if we scroll to the right, we'll find the train tracks. And I don't think it's too far. There they are. And we're going to put these down just like this. And then we'll extend this off across the front of the train station like that. So that looks good. Okay, and then we'll come back, to the blocks drawer, and I'm going to come back over here and we're going to pick up this floor piece again, and then I'm going to bring it up and we're going to set this across here like this. And so that adds a nice finished floor across there, but yet we have the flowered wall, so that looks really good. I like that. And if you have the memory, if you're on one of the ones that have more memory than the Wii U, you could put a couple of these over here as well, these small floors, but I'm not going to do that on mine. Alright, and then I'm going to pick this up and put it back down because I got a couple more things I want to do over here. So we're going to put a couple of these like this. And kind of fill in that gap back there. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And kind of fill this in as well. Let's see. Yeah. Like that. Okay, so there's the base for the train station. And now the last thing that we need to do with this, let me find my screenshots here. We'll come back up to Building Sets Group 3. And I'm going to scroll to the right first, and we're going to go to these Main Street exit turnstiles. I think that'll make it easier for the player to get through here. And we're going to line these up along the edge of the railroad here. And I want to do this so that it's, I think, sorry, just trying to find a good screen grab. Okay, so we're going to line it up. I think that's too far. Nope, that's correct. So we'll put one there and one there. And I'm putting it with the decoration again on that side. And the roof is kind of plain on that side. And I believe this is the right placement. We'll find out when we put the station in here in just a second. So I'll come back to the left. And I'm looking for this piece. And if I measured this out correctly, this piece is going to go here and another one over here, like that, with this piece in the middle. Hey, perfect. And we'll center that piece like that. And now let me make sure I'm looking at the front of this. I am. So for the roof, the one with the flag goes on this side with that little clock decoration facing out like that. And then there's another one next door. We're going to put that one on this side, just like that, with the window facing out. And I think the other side's the same. And then in the middle, we can put these down. And we'll need a couple of these, so we'll put one there. I'll swing it around and drop one on the other side. And then we got to put one of these small ones in here. And actually, I think what I had done, let's go ahead and take that back out, sorry. Because the actual station has this salmon roof with the window. So I want to make sure we at least put that out facing on this side. And to save a little memory, we can do the same thing on this end. And there we go. So there's the train station. And that's looking really good. A few more little details and then we'll wrap this up for the day. So I'm going to come back down to the plants drawer. And I think might be quicker just to pick one of these up. With these trees here. And I'm going to come and put the first one down on the middle of this block here. And we're going to put it out one block away like that. And then I'll rotate it. We'll put one down in the same position over here. And then back up to the decorations drawer. Or is it Building Sets Group 3? I think it's Building Sets Group 3. There should be a lantern. Yep, this is the one. I'm going to put this right here. And another one right there to kind of cover up that seam a little bit. And that's where that's placed. Okay, so now we can come and style these trees. And actually this one, there's another one I got to put. So I'm going to pick that up and put it down. And we'll come over here and drop this. See, I want to make sure I put leave room for 2 blocks. So like this. Actually, I should rotate that so it's not so repetitive. So we'll put that one there, and the other one we'll put on the other end like that. And then we'll go ahead and style them. So under here, I'm going to look for the park trees. That's this one. And we'll style this to the same thing. That one to the same thing. That one to the same thing. And the same with these two on these ends. And you can see why we styled it after the fact when we got those others in there, because that changed the bounding box for that piece, because the tree is much bigger. And then these two trees are going to be Farmer Mickey terrain. Like that. This piece over here, again, we're going to look for the park terrain, and that's this one. And then that one. There we are. That's looking really good. Well, I think that's enough for today. Next week we'll work on the town square. Until then, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video today. If so, please give it a like and leave a comment to let me know. And if you enjoy Disney Infinity and you like my videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel or follow me on my blog if you haven't already done that. For now, Tinkerbell and I are signing off from Disneyland, and I'll see you next week.